speaking of stressful situations, I mean, yeah, you're right. That doesn't sound as stressed. You know what I mean? But we have a good viewer question. And here's what blows my mind is the viewer that gave us this viewer question and our viewers that, I mean, you check the analytics and we have viewers all over the United States.
Right.
A lot of our viewer questions come from the United States mostly. This one, though, came from Serbia in Southeast Europe. All right. So this is the viewer question. How do you push through difficult situations in life? Do you have any advice or strategies that help you stay positive and optimistic? This is from Nikola from Serbia, Nikola from Serbia, Southeast Europe. I mean, that's a good question, and from a viewer that's hours and hours away. So
first off, we thank you for watching.
Amazing.
No doubt.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
I don't know how our algorithm crossed you, but we're thankful.
Seriously,
we're thankful for you.
He must be on low T. we appreciate you anyway.
We can't insult our viewers.
Well, I mean, that's not insulting. I mean, hey, men have problems too.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad I got mine fixed. Make sure you get yours fixed. So,
I mean, no. So yeah, no. Again, kind of like 40 hours in a car with anybody and kids. It can be stressful. It really can. Any situation like that can be tough. But it's your mindset that makes it tough, right? I mean, if you're like, okay, good, gosh, the kid just peed again, or, well, just whatever it may be, or just getting tired of being freaking in the car, right? And you want to get out, or whatever it may be, that I could have made that a really bad situation, right? I mean, just a tough situation. But it's your mindset. It's the way you look at it, way you approach that, And again, I learned to approach that, like I told you a long time ago when I first started doing my 8 hours from here to Florida. It was a rush, stress, tired, hated it. And then I just learned to just enjoy the freaking journey, whatever it may be. And it may not be exactly where you want to be because you're looking down there and say, that's where I want to be. Enjoy where you're at, because majority of your life, you're going to be on that freaking road going somewhere. You're not going to be that paradise spot that you're hoping to be at one point, where if it's your job, or if it's your partner you're with and you're struggling and it's like, I remember when we were happy. I remember when, she was all that. But you know what? You're probably going to be in those struggles majority of your time, unless you turn your mindset around and start thinking more of a positive mindset of like, you know what? All right with that. It doesn't piss me off. Who freaking cares? That don't let it bug you. It is what it is. You can only control, certain things. And again, I'm a Christian man, so I mean, what I can't control, I put it in His hands, and that's how I roll. I mean, that's seriously what I do.
Nope.
If I can't, if something horrible happens, and I'm going, okay, I literally can't change any of that. It is, well, I mean, I can have a bad attitude and just make the situation worse, or I can have a good attitude and just deal with whatever it is.
Right.
I mean, that's a good way to, I mean, that's how I handle tough situations. And I mean, just staying positive again, it's just a mindset thing. And I haven't always been the most positive person. I always thought I was. I'll speak to it at some point in one of our podcasts when I went through depression and all that other stuff, and where I couldn't get out, when I couldn't be positive. I mean, I just literally was miserable all the time. But when I finally became positive, it was going through hearing other motivational people. People talk about their troubles, your things, and that's the whole point of this freaking show too.
Exactly,
is to get out there and be open, with everybody, and tell everybody about our struggles and how we got through them and stuff like that. So it's like listening to the people talking, listening to a laugh, other people laugh, other people's struggles, how they move from those struggles, where they at now. That helped me out a lot, and that helped me get more, a positive attitude. And since I've been out of that rut, I've never been back in it. So thank God. I appreciate Him for that. So yeah, that's my spill on it.
So to get through tough times, I have two questions, right? That I ask myself, which is why and who, right? So my why is, why am I doing this? Like, why am I putting myself through this? Because I'm not going to lie. As far as home goes, I have a pretty stress-free life, right? I enjoy homes. Homes are my safe space. That's where it all comes together. And that's why you deal with the stresses, to have that home, right? That safe space. Right. So my stresses come from business, right?
Yep.
I'm dealing with car customers on a daily basis, some that bought yesterday, some that bought 3 years ago, some that are trying to buy tomorrow. I'm dealing with, the tenants, people that have moved in, people that have moved out, everything that goes with that. And no part of that is easy, right?
Oh, no doubt.
And we had mentioned, me and you had spoken about, all three of us, when I said, like, there is no delegation on certain things, right? When there are things I can delegate, but when an answer is needed, when we need a solution, everyone turns to me to make that decision.
For sure.
So that's where my stresses come from. So my why that I applied to is, why did I start this? When I started and I took this journey and I went down this route, why was I doing that? And it was to have
An extra bathroom for your daughter. I got you.
amongst other things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah, I got you.
It
I
was
hear
to
you.
have a stress-free home life.
Yeah.
You
no
know,
doubt.
I read years and years and years ago, the number one cause in divorces is finances.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
More than infidelity, more than just anything else that comes up, it's finances, right? So I do work hard. I do stress a lot. I do deal with a lot. There is always a lot on my plate, day in and day out. And I know that I'm doing that so I can go home to a safe space. I go home to a happy space. No matter what I dealt with today, that doesn't matter at home.
Yeah.
And I don't pat myself on the back often, but I will here, right? I appreciate it. It doesn't matter what I dealt with at work today in the world. The moment I walk in my back door, my daughter and my wife have no idea.
Yeah.
They just assume it was another good day. And that I had to work very hard to do that. And that is my why.
Yeah.
Which leads me into the who. Who are you doing this for? Who are you dealing with all these things for? Like, you're doing this for why and for who. And it's for those two people that are waiting on me when I get home every night.
Right.
And the excitement that there is to see me when I get there, the love and appreciation for all that I do, it makes those tough times just a little more bearable. Just you got to get to the other side. You got to get to it and you got to get through it. And I'm a Christian man myself, and I feel that he doesn't give you anything that you're not capable of dealing with.
That's right.
So if you feel like you had a lot on your plate today, he felt you were strong enough to take it on.
There you go. I like that.
No, I love your guys' answers. Those are perfect answers.
Hold real quick. Baby, I'm going to get another job. I promise you. I love you. Don't leave me. Go on. We don't all roll like Pedro.
Oh,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that important thing there.
That's why I'm sweating and y'all aren't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My man
stressful
putting in
day
those
and y'all's
hours.
wasn't as stressful.
Yeah. Making that money.
No, I mean, I love you guys' answers. One answer that I think of, because I don't want to copy your guys' answers, because the answer's exactly what I would do as well, is family and friends. When you're going through a hard time, when you're going through a difficult situation in life, as I went through with Sarah in episode 5,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Probably the most challenging, hardest part of my life. We had family that actually came and helped us. And one of the huge benefits of that is not they just helped us around the house, but they helped us mentally as well. Eliza's mom, she came over right when Sarah came home from the hospital, and she stayed with us for a while. And she's the one that had she had the idea of making the whiteboard in the living room, what time the medicines were going. And she was on a lot of medicines, what time we had to feed her. I mean, it was like a ER in our living room. And it was all Eliza's mom that built that, and she helped us through everything. She helped us watch her. She helped us, hey, go get some sleep. We knocked out a few hours of sleep here and there, helped us feed her. I mean, without her, I don't think we would be able to do it mentally when we took her home.
No doubt,
because
yeah.
right when you took her home, it was literally a binder this thick that the hospital gave us and said, okay, here you go. This is how to take care of your daughter. And you're just like, okay, thanks. And it was her that our minds are already just dealing with, a traumatic event. And now we got to take care of our daughter at home with no doctors and nurses.
Right.
So having her come over and helping us, saying, okay, take a minute. Let's figure this out. Let's get everything in order. How we could take care of Sarah. We couldn't do without her. So thank you so much for that, because I think family and friends are huge, important when you're living through a traumatic event.
Oh, for sure.
But, I think of another story where sometimes, like you said, a traumatic event or a difficult situation, yeah, it's sometimes temporary. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's permanent. There was a gentleman when I was a bouncer at Whiskey Girl in San Diego. Shout out to Whiskey Girl if you guys are ever in San Diego. Best drinks, best food.
As much as I hear about it, I'm trying to come by Whiskey
if you ever
Girl.
go
Like,
to
I'm
San
trying to see what
Diego,
it's about.
It's just an amazing place in San Diego. Gaslamp Quarter, amazing place. But I worked there for a few years as a side hustle, being a bouncer. Had so much fun doing that. One thing that's very cool as a bouncer at a club is that you have a lot of power. You could bring in people you want. You could bring in anybody you want. They don't have to pay cover. They don't have to wait in line. You get a little power being a bouncer, and it's really cool.
I bet he took advantage of that.
Yeah,
I took advantage of that
huge.
huge. But it's so funny because you actually get to help people. And I think that's the biggest thing. I like to help people. Anybody that was in the armed services, you could tell that just came out of boot camp. One little ribbon here, walking down with his street with his girl. I'm like, bro, come here, man. Like, I got you, man. I got you.
Nice.
And they're having the time of their life. So I would use it a lot in my advantage to help other people that I felt like deserved it or needed it.
Right.
There was one night where a gentleman in a wheelchair was having this wheelchair down, little electric wheelchair down the sidewalk of the Gaslamp Quarter. Now on a Friday and Saturday night in the Gaslamp Quarter in downtown San Diego is packed with people. So having a wheelchair, trying to navigate through people, it's difficult. You might be running over people, you might be hitting people in accident, and you're not realizing it. So I'm standing in front of the bar and I'm looking and I could see a gentleman trying to get over in a wheelchair, and I'm looking, and he accidentally runs over or hits a few guys on accident. I mean, you can't predict that stuff. You can't control that stuff. And if someone ran over me in a wheelchair, no big deal. Like, it happens, especially in a crowded street. Like, who cares, But these two guys took it personal and started calling him names. And that got my attention because the sound started getting higher. And I'm already hearing beating music in the background. So the sound got really high, where I'm looking and I'm going, okay, what's going on? When I look, and these two guys are pretty much like cussing and like yelling at this guy in a wheelchair. Well, as the crowd kind of dispersed, I can see the guy sitting in the wheelchair. No arms, no torso, no legs, just torso and head.
Oh, wow.
That's it. And I've never seen anything like this before. I've seen guys with no legs, especially veterans and things like that, or no arms, stuff like that. I've never seen this before. And I was like, whoa, okay. And he controlled his wheelchair by putting his mouth on a stick and controlling it that way. He could talk, everything was fine. But I kind of I walked up to him and I'm like, what's going on, man? And they saw me, they saw my build, and they kind of stopped, they kind of controlled themselves and walked away. Where I could tell by his face, he was very just frustrated about that. Very sad, very seriously. You could tell. And so he kind of came down the bar. I'm like, you okay, man? He's like, yeah, I'm okay. He's like, I'm used to it. He kind of joked around about it. That saying, there's always truth in jest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So and he goes, and he kind of looked at me, he goes, is this where you work at? I said, yeah, I'm just, working here as a bouncer. And he goes, okay, cool. And he kind of looked, he kind of stopped and looked inside, and you see women dancing, people dancing, having a good time, club music going. So you want to come in, man? And he looked at the long line and he goes, no, it's okay. I'm like, bro, you don't have to wait a line, bro. I got you.
Nice.
And he looked in the middle of and then the place is packed with people dancing. So, and I said, well, he goes, and he kind of looked and you could see the thoughts going through his head. And I could see that thoughts going through his head. And I'm like, bro, don't worry, bro. I got you. So I took another security guard with flashlights. We literally made a hole through that dance floor.
Nice. Got
him all the way to the bar. Told the bartender, I'm like, dude, do me a favor, put him onto my tab, and just hooked him up all night. Found a couple ladies at the bar, introduced them, and he just had the time of his life. I went back to the front door, and he just had a great time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hours later, he came out. I think he came out with one of the honeys. I'm not too sure.
My man.
And, left the bar, and he had a great time. You could see a big old smile on his face.
Awesome.
It wasn't until months later after that, because I don't know why, that just always resonated with me. That always helped me because it thought in my head, because I'm going, you have this guy that, did his difficult challenges every day.
Oh, yeah.
He can't, live a normal life like we do.
Right.
So, I mean, how does he survive? How does he live? So all of a sudden I'm sitting back, I'm, watching the 10 o'clock news in San Diego at night. And all of a sudden he's on the news. And I'm like, son of a gun, that's him.
I know that dude.
I know that dude.
Yeah.
What in the world? So what he was, I'm going to give a shout out, Rob Mendez, 2019 ESPY winner from ESPN.
Oh, wow.
He's a high school football coach.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
High school football
Ain't
coach.
nothing slowing that dude down.
You're not. So you took a guy who was probably most likely born like that.
Yeah.
And had that mentality was like, yeah, I may not have no legs, no arms, but nothing is going to stop me.
Yeah, there it
I
is.
may have a difficult challenge and a difficult situation in life.
Right.
But nothing's going to stop me from fulfilling what I want to do. You played high school and football in high school, football in high school. Could you picture a coach coaching your team, knowing coaches in football? I never played high school football, but you did, with no arms, no legs.
That's like a,
you
could take that as just a different side of motivation.
Right.
No
Make you wanna
doubt.
go
No
play
doubt.
Quite
That's
a bit
true.
harder.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. So it's like he took something that was a challenge for him and pretty much gave the world a middle finger in a way
No
and
doubt.
said, I'm going to keep going and obtain my goal.
Yeah.
And somehow or another, he won tons of games with his coaching. He won, championships, and he won the, 2019 ESPY award winner.
That's awesome.
So it's like, I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we have difficult situations and challenges that come in our life, we think in our head, this is going to destroy me. This is going to hurt me. This is going to destroy me. This is going to, just drop me to my knees and drop me to my face in the ground. But we have to think about, actually, how can this fix me?
Right.
How can this motivate me?
Right.
How can this motivate me to be a better person? How can this just change my mindset and my mentality where it's like, you know what? Yeah, the world may have tried to drop me and try to just treat me like dirt and just put my face to the ground. But I'm going to give the world my middle finger and let's go. Let's keep going.
That's one way to look at it.
Let's
Yeah,
keep
for sure.
going.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And there's so many guys out there. You see it all the time. On ESPN, on the Olympics and the Paralympics, no arms, no legs, swimming, hiking, running, doing Spartan races. When you were running your marathon, your Houston Exxon marathon, you were telling me blind guys were running a marathon. I mean, you took a challenge that these guys cannot see and go, screw that. I'm gonna do my
do it
best.
anyway.
And
I'm
they
gonna
just
do it
minimize
anyways.
your struggle so much. when you
Yeah,
think
no doubt,
about it.
right?
And if you guys are watching us and you may have a disability or you may have something that you're struggling with where the world has just took in your face and put it to the floor and you're feeling like everything's just done. Everything is just, I have a difficult situation in my life, no matter what it is, if it's relationship, if it's finances, if it's, a disability, if it's anything. I can tell you right now, you're not done. You're not. You have to change that mindset in your mind and go, you know what? This is actually going to make me a better person. I don't know how, but I'm going to get myself up. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to fight back and change whatever took me down and just keep going. Because the best revenge on when life hits you with a difficult situation is fighting back and showing, whatever hits you in the world, I'm going to come back stronger and better than ever. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've had faced with my difficult situations is that I'm going to keep coming back harder. I'm going to keep coming back stronger. And is it hard? Heck yes. Like I told you guys before, my right foot hurts every single day. And I'm excited for that Spartan race we're doing. I'm training every single day. And I'm excited, but I know
You too.
No doubt.
that by the end of the day, I'm going to be in pain. But I don't care. I'm going to be dragging my foot to that finish line. I do not care because I'm going to keep going. My mindset, your mind is bigger than you think. It really is. So a lot of people think, like when we're talking about going to the gym, working out is 90% mental, 10% physical, because you got to push yourself to go to the gym. Once you're at the gym, you're like, all right, I'm here. Let's go. So anytime you deal with a difficult situation, with everything that I've been through, I just had to keep telling my mind, like, all right, I'm down in the gutter. I'm down in the dirt. I'm going through this. I'm going through that. All right, let's go. Let's go. I know it's only temporary. And
Just keep
sometimes it's
pushing
not
through it.
temporary. Sometimes it's permanent.
Right.
But I'm going to change that mindset. I'm not going to have this ability or this, whatever's going through my life situation change me permanently.
Right.
It's going to change me permanently, but in a good way.
Right.
And I'm going to keep fighting through it. And you have to just put mind over matter when it comes to that. And every single man that's watching that, you can. You really can. And we're here. We believe with you guys. We're your friends. We're here, and we're supporting you through everything you guys are going through in life because man, life is going to take you down. Life is going to tear you up. But if you keep going stronger than ever and you keep fighting against that, I'll tell you what, you can fight against anything. Anytime, anything that challenges you, anything that brings you down, trust me, they tried with me many times. And I keep winning. I keep winning. I keep winning.